Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm coming to y'all with another knife review, and this time we're looking at what is actually probably my favorite EDC knife currently in my rotation, and it's been in my rotation for the last 2 years. I think we all have those knives that as users we never want to take out of our pocket, but for those of us who make knife reviews, we kind of have to in order to get data for the other stuff that we want to review. And so we have to make ourselves take the knife that we love most out of our pocket and put something else in there so we can get the information we need. This Cobratec lightweight is very much that knife for me. It's the one that gets the most pocket time whenever I'm not testing knives. And in that, a couple year span where I wasn't really making content, it was basically the only knife that ever spent any time in my pocket. Absolutely love this thing. And I do have the original packaging, so we'll talk about that. I'll talk a little bit about the company and my interactions with them because I did register this knife. And for those of you who don't know, I did review the Liberty Templar Mini OTF a couple years back, which is an OTF company or a knife company that claims to make their knives here in Texas. Cobratec, likewise, claims to make their knives here in Texas. And yeah, I wanted to kind of talk about that and compare just a little bit. But I just have to say that this is my all-time favorite EDC. Okay. So before I show off the knife and the packaging, let's talk about the company. They are stationed in Texas, and they assemble their knives here with a combination of American-made and foreign-made parts. So some of their stuff comes from China. So for example, this pocket clip, they import from China and put their logo on. They don't specify which parts are from China and which parts are from the US. I would assume, given the price point, that most of it is sourced from China and Taiwan. And then the remaining amount of stuff is made here. It's all put together here. I do know that. I did speak with, I believe it was the owner of the company on the phone. And I was asking questions because if you watch my Liberty Templar Mini review, the owner of that company didn't really know what the hell they were talking about. They'd stamped their blades 440C. I had called and asked, was it really 440C? And they had told me, well, it's 5CR15 MOV, which is Chinese 440C. And I was like, no, that would be 9CR18 MOV. 5CR15 is Chinese 425M. And a lot of back and forth there. But I was curious. I was curious if Cobratec had any affiliation with Liberty, and they don't. They're a completely separate company. They did actually know what they were talking about, though, when we started discussing materials and the build and so on and so forth. So I can say you can buy with confidence from this company. And I've had really good experience not only with my conversations with the company, but also in my carry and use of this knife. The other thing I want to get into is there's a lot of talk on the internet that these are just Lightning Elite OTFs that have been rebranded. And I actually heard that shortly after I bought this, and I thought, oh, cool, I'll go buy one of those. And, that way I'll have two of them, save some money. And I bought one. It was on sale from Grindworks for like $17, and I got it in the mail. And no, guys, they share the same overall design, differences in the handle, but they share the same general design. They have the same pocket clip as one another. But the Lightning Elite OTF is a significantly worse knife than this in carry, in edge retention, in build quality. Honestly, if you're looking at the Lightning Elite, just get the regular basic Lightning. I think it's actually better than the Elite model. But I've spent enough time talking about other stuff. Let's talk about the knife itself. Here's the packaging. Really love the way that this comes. It's not just a cardboard box. We have this kind of plastic case, and whenever we open it up, we see inside we have some padding, a business card that tells us about the lifetime warranty, which I did register mine, and a sheath. So this is kind of cute. I admittedly don't like this sheath all that much. It's got a clasp here, and we can pop the knife in, and we can kind of carry it around this way if we don't want to just throw it in our pocket. The problem I have with this, even though it does hold the knife really well, is I don't like the attachment method. It's really flimsy Velcro, and it's not very big. So I'm not exactly sure what the hell you're supposed to attach that to. But it's kind of cute, I guess. It's nice to get any added bonus. I don't think it's a very useful sheath, but you know what? Hey, they didn't have to give us anything. So I guess I'll take it. This is the star of the show, though. Let's talk about the knife itself, because this thing is such a fantastic blade. You can see I have the drop point version. They also make it in a tanto version, and it is a D2 steel. Now, I've got quite a bit of use with a bunch of different D2 steels, and different companies all seem to do a different job with it. This has been the best performing D2 out of any of my current knives and knives that I've owned in the last couple of years. Severely outperforming even the Gonzo D2, which previously, in my experience, had outperformed SOG D2, SRM D2, and just countless other, like Ethan-Gro D2. This outperformed all of them. It's held a really, really good edge. I do have to keep a light coat of oil on the blade typically because I do live in a somewhat high humidity environment, and D2 will rust out on you. It is not a stainless steel, it's a tool steel, so keep that in mind. But it's held its edge really, really well. It takes a new edge. I did have to sharpen it recently, and the edge that it took is extremely nice. I thought about leaving a more toothy working edge on it because I do use it so much, but I did decide to go ahead and polish it on some finer rods, and I love the edge that's been brought to life on this thing. It is a flat grind from about 3/8 of the way down. Beautiful slicing capability. You can see I still got some gunk on here. I should have cleaned it before the video, but oh well. It's a user. I carry and use it a lot. It slices beautifully. You know, 3 1/4 inch blade is basically the perfect size for EDC. The drop point shape is very useful. The tip is nice and sharp and very penetrative, so it punctures right into, as I always say, clamshell packaging and bubble mailers and, you know, cutting the tape on boxes and whatever else you're using your EDC knife for. I will say this slices cardboard like a breeze. It's great for food preparation, although these aerated holes in here, you know, they can get crap in there. They can get food caught in there if you don't clean it out carefully whenever you're done, so keep that in mind. But it's a really, really useful blade. It is a drop point, but it's almost a clipped drop point, kind of a clip point, drop point hybrid. You see that false swedge on the top there? So call the blade shape what you want, but I call it extremely useful. I absolutely love the performance of this knife. Cobratec logo there, that's pretty cool. I like to see that. Just a really cool overall knife. The deployment on this thing is super fast, and this is one of the ways it's very different from the Lightning Elite. The Lightning Elite and the Lightning both have a really cheap kind of pinging sound. Whenever you actuate them, they sound hollow. They have like a hollow ring when you actuate their OTF function. This sounds and feels really high end. Okay, I've handled some really nice OTF knives, and no, I'm not going to come on here telling you, guys, you don't need a Microtech, buy this Cobratec. This is a great quality knife. A Microtech will blow it out of the water, to be completely honest with you. Just in my experience handling them, they will. Same with like a really high-end Benchmade OTF, or at least they're more modern ones. I haven't been impressed with Benchmade's older OTFs like the Infidel, but you know, a really nice higher-end Benchmade OTF will kick this thing's ass. Just being completely blunt with you guys. But this is so head and shoulders above stuff like the Lightning and the Lightning Elite that it's not even funny. It is a stout spring. It does require some force to overcome it. You do get used to it. When I first got it, I struggled a little bit to actuate it. Obviously, it became my main carry, so I got very used to opening and closing it very quickly. But it comes out really fast. The deployment, I don't know if what I'm supposed to call that, actuator? It's not really a button, is well jimped, and it's really easy to get a purchase on. And whenever we're using the knife, it acts as a great thumb ramp. Okay, so it comes out really fast. The lockup, I mean, it's an OTF knife that I've used a lot. Whenever I first got it, there was very, very little wiggle. Obviously, as it's been used and actuated a lot, there's more play in it now. So I do have a little bit of up and down, a little bit of side to side. That's a feature you'll see less of on super high-end OTFs, but I'll say this, it's a lot less sloppy than, again, those Lightning and Lightning Elites. I'm not trying to downplay those knives too much. They're decent for what they are for sub $30 OTFs. They're fun, they're functional, they work. They're just not exactly high quality. This is honestly high quality, and I'm really happy with the deployment and the lockup. There's not enough blade where I can feel the blade move when I'm cutting, so I don't have a problem with that. The handle is what they call high-grade aluminum alloy, so don't expect aviation grade aluminum. It's not a 6000 or 7000 series aluminum, but what it is very attractive. I love the design of it. It is Cerakoted, and you can see, even with that Cerakoting, I have put a significant amount of wear on this thing because it almost never leaves my pocket unless I make it. I personally like that wear and tear. I think it adds personality. Ergonomically speaking, the handle is very comfortable. When you have a very straight up and down, simplistic design like this, it's going to be uniformly ergonomic. It'll never melt in the hand, but it'll never be uncomfortable. So I think it's a really smart design. There's your body screws if you want to take the knife apart. I don't recommend it. OTFs can be a bit of a pain if you take them apart. Handle length, by the way, is 4.5 inches. And this texturing is actually pretty aggressive. Like, you can really get a good grip on that. The rest of it's pretty slick, though, so I'd say low traction overall. Let's go ahead and talk about the weight of this knife, and I'll bring in my scale real quick. I believe it's 4.2 ounces. And no, I'm not going to measure it in the sheath because I don't recommend carrying it in the sheath. Sorry, I just don't. But 4.16, so we'll say 4.2 ounces on that. I consider that a perfectly EDC-able weight. It's very, very manageable. And again, I obviously don't mind it because I carry the hell out of it. Pocket clip, same one you will see on that Lightning Elite OTF, anchored with 3 screws. I like the branding. Here's how it carries. Enough clearance to accommodate thicker pants. Little bit of a flare up, but not too bad. I haven't had it catch on anything. I'll show you how it rides with the old cutlery lever pocket. I love to steal things from other YouTubers. Great idea, though, and that's how it carries. Perfect for me. That's about exactly how much knife I like protruding from the pocket for a quick extraction, but you may prefer a deep carry clip. I'm sure you could find something you could affix to that to make it a deep carry clip. Price on these isn't exactly cheap, but it's not bad for a quality OTF with good materials. It's about $85, and it comes in a wide variety of colors, different styles of the handle. Like, there are graphic versions on the handle that have flags and all sorts of other stuff. So if you're into that, go for it. I love this green handled version, but they also make it in a wide variety of colors and styles. So keep that in mind. You can pretty much get what you want out of a knife that way. I think it's well worth every penny of $85, and I've really been tempted to go buy a handful of others. It's just I'm trying to buy other stuff to review for the channel, and that kind of gets in the way of me buying the stuff that I really want for myself oftentimes. So honestly, though, if you're looking for an OTF knife that is high quality, has a great feel to it, and is built really well, and again, lifetime warranty, if something goes wrong, Cobratec will take care of it for you. Just register it when you buy it. You can't go wrong with this. It's a great blade for a really reasonable price. I don't have any Nut and Fancy-esque competitive options to show off for this because I just don't own that many automatics. I've got a Kershaw Launch 5 that's honestly kind of in the same ballpark. It's about a $120 knife, CPM 154 steel, 6061 T6 aluminum handle. It's an out-the-side knife, though. Very comparable to this in terms of build quality, honestly. I'm confident putting this up against. Matter of fact, nah, it's too far away. I can't grab it. But yeah, that'd be about the only thing I have that I can compare to it. What I'll say, if you like it, if you want a great OTF for a reasonable price, go buy one of these Cobratecs. These lightweights are absolutely phenomenal. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, I will see you later. Peace and take care.